All stand for the flag salute. Rich, you want to lead us? United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided pursuant to the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law by posting a notice of this meeting on the bulletin board in the municipal building, by faxing notice of this meeting to the Press of Atlantic City and Star Ledger on January the 6th, 2023, and by publication in the Press of Atlantic City and Star Ledger on January 9th, 2023. Mr. Cheek?
Here.
Mrs. Link?
Here.
Dr. Witherspoon?
Here.
Mayor Patali?
Here. Have a moment of silence for private reflection. Okay. We have no guest presentations, so we'll move right along. Selection of Township Committee member.
Do we have to,
I nominate Art Shanker.
you had the
Excuse me.
resignation.
Yeah, do we have to do the resignation first?
Yes, the resignation was submitted January.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just
Before-
waiting
Rita?
for the mayor. There's a little delay. Yes, sir. This email is dated December the 7th, 2022 at 4:29 p.m. To Rita Martino from Hopkins, Sue Hopkins, Hopkins resignation effective 1/10/23. Hi Rita, I'm resigning from the committee effective 1/10/2023. Thank you for all of your efforts in keeping everything together. So, that's it.
Okay.
Do we have to accept that?
So we have a
No.
resolution.
No, I
Naming.
accept it on behalf of the Township Committee.
Okay, so moving along.
Resolution naming committee member for Township of Hamilton, whereas Susan Hopkins resigned her position as committee member of the Township of Hamilton effective January 10th, 2023, and whereas required by NJSA 40A 1611, the Hamilton Township Republican County Committee submitted the following names as nominees for the selection of successor to fill the vacancy on January 17th, 2023. Art Shanker, Mike Colazzo, and Luke McFarland. Now therefore be it resolved by the Township Committee of the Township of Hamilton to appoint, I guess I shouldn't have done that, I'm sorry. So let me open this up to someone to
Nominate.
put forward a name for this resolution.
I'd nominate Art Shanker.
Second. Roll call, Rita?
Mr. Cheek?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Dr. Witherspoon?
Yes.
Mayor Patali?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
Congratulations, Arthur.
So now, Mr. Shanker will be taking the oath of office to be administered to Township Committee. I'm sorry, I can't really see who's out there. I don't know if,
That's it.
who's going to swear him
It's
in.
right there.
Oh, there's Amy.
You might need the microphone. There's the camera back there, Amy. All right.
All right, here we go. I, Art Shanker,
I, Art Shanker,
hereby certify that I am a member of the Republican Party
hereby certify that I am a member of the Republican Party
and accept the nomination and election
accept the nomination and election
by the Township of Hamilton Committee
by the Township of Hamilton Committee
to the office of
to the office of
Township Committeeman
Township Committeeman
in the Township of Hamilton
in the Township of Hamilton
to fill the unexpired term
to fill the unexpired term
of Susan Hopkins
of Susan Hopkins
until November 7,
until November 7,
2023.
2023.
Election results are certified
Election results are certified.
and further certify
Further certified
that I am a resident,
that I am a resident,
a legal voter,
a legal voter,
qualified under the laws
qualified under the laws
of the state of New Jersey
of New Jersey
for such an appointment.
for such an appointment.
And I, Art Shanker,
And I, Art Shanker,
do sincerely profess
do sincerely profess
and swear
and swear
that I do
that I do
and will bear true faith
and will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the government
to the government
established in this state
established in this state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Is that feedback coming from this computer under the table, or is it coming from Carl's? It could be Carl's, I'm not sure. I don't think he's got a cell phone on the table. I'll text him. That's no problem.
Thank you, Amy. Congratulations. Thank you.
Congratulations. Should I say that?
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you,
Welcome
Mayor.
aboard. Are you all settled in? I can't see.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yes, we're all.
All right.
Oh, now you're settled in.
Hold on. It's not official till you do this.
He's in now, Carl, he's in.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, moving on. We have the mayor's announcement of the 2023 department chairpersons. For admin and finance, it will be Judy and myself. For public works, it will be Rich and Judy. For public safety, it will be Art and myself. For planning and zoning, Dr. Witherspoon and Rich. And for special events, it will be Art and Dr. Witherspoon.
What was that last one?
Special events?
Special events.
With Thelma and I.
All right, bear with me here as I pull up. We have addition, deletion of late agenda items to be considered for action. I'm trying to pull that up now. Additions, 12K resolution appointing Rita Martino as an agency redactor for the Township of Hamilton in accordance with Daniels Law implementation. And 16, executive session, foreclosure and contract litigation, attorney-client privilege. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Cheek?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Shanker?
Yes.
Dr. Witherspoon?
Yes.
Mayor Patali?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
Thank you. Early public comment on agenda items.
We
have
have Bruce
anybody on the
Stry
list?
for 11G.
11D, Brett.
11G.
G.
Congratulations, Art.
Thank you, Bruce.
A question, what's the location for the, was it Royal Highness Dispensary? What is the location of that?
This is the old Platinum Playground out on 322.
Say it again?
It's the old Platinum Playground on 322 out near
Oh,
the Harley
near the
Dawn
township
Diner.
line?
Yes.
Okay, all right. In the cannabis ordinance, there's mention of the township as an entirety. Does that mean, I'm not really concerned about this particular one and where it's located, but it does mention that in the cannabis ordinance, there's mention of the whole township as an entirety. Does that mean that a cannabis in any one of the 6 different categories, does that mean that any of those establishments can go anywhere in the whole township, whether it be residential, FA 70, 10, anywhere? Is that what that means?
Only if they fit into the criteria of the ordinance.
Okay, but still, okay, if they meet the criteria, but they still can go on any street, any zone, anywhere in the township.
There's a lot of limitations.
Well, that's my question. I honestly don't know. Don't mean to put you on the spot.
I don't know, but I can.
Can we
out
find
and
out
get
for the
back
next
to you.
meeting?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I
Yes.
believe with
There's,
dealing with other people, it was preference to be on the Black Horse Pike. Don't lock me into
I'm not-
that's,
no, I'm not-
that's just my remembrance of it
Okay.
from the past.
But the reason I ask is because in the cannabis ordinance, it's referenced the township in the entirety. Okay, it doesn't, a cannabis operation is a commercial, retail, or whatever other category. My question is, can anyone, and the other thing is, when it's under the township in the entirety, these applications are not held in complete transparency, and any use variances are not taking place as normal, as you know. So my concern is that a cannabis retail or growing or there's 6 of them, can all of a sudden pop up on any street without proper use variance process.
Well, according to the resolution, is only designated zoning districts.
Pardon me?
So I'm gonna have to, I'm sure that the township administrator will look into the ordinance, but according to the resolution,
Yeah.
it has designated zoning districts. So that means it can't be just anywhere.
Is that, okay, is that a
That's
fact?
on the
On the
resolution,
resolution.
as a part of the question that you asked on page 11G, when you look at the resolution, it is in paragraph 1.
I don't have the resolution.
well, you can read it.
Well, I don't, you don't print those ahead of time for us. I don't know.
The clerk can read it, or I can read it. It says,
Well, I don't,
it's,
you
but it's
can if
right
you-
here, it's designated zoning districts, which means cannabis cannot just be anywhere. There are certain areas that have already been zoned for it.
Okay, and what areas are they?
Now, that I don't know. You know I'm new.
That's my question. I know, I'm not trying to put you, no. I wasn't asking the rookie, okay?
It's
I
her
don't
second
know.
meeting, she's not a rookie.
No, okay, that's right, you're
But
sophomore, okay.
there
The other
are
thing,
a lot
the
of,
other thing, Bruce, we haven't signed an MOU for this yet, so it's technically not redevelopment yet.
Okay. I'm not objecting to this particular application at that particular spot. I'm more interested in the cannabis being an approved use everywhere in the township, only because it was referenced in the cannabis ordinance as a use, it sounded like a use in the township of the entirety. And as you know, we have a lot of questions on that. I don't expect an answer tonight, okay, because obviously there's some questions, but maybe by the next meeting, you could, I'll ask it again,
Okay.
okay?
I see Aaron's not here. I'm sure if Aaron was here,
I understand.
she would have all the answers.
I get it. I'll be back.
Brett, can this be rewritten where it lists the designated areas?
Well,
Absolutely.
I believe the ordinance for cannabis, it states where it's allowed, because there are places that it is not allowed.
Correct.
Yeah, there are areas that are prohibited,
Correct.
and there are stipulations as to where the schools are, so many feet from the a recreation area. There's a lot of stipulations that,
Actually, Bill just pointed
For cannabis.
that township committee, now that you are the ones that vote, correct me if I'm wrong, you're ultimately, because it is township committee, you vote to approve it wherever it goes, which is you're going tonight, but my question still remains, can it go anywhere?
And again, the answer is no, because this resolution states, and maybe you can get a copy of it from the clerk, is designated zoning districts within the township.
but what are they?
I don't know what they are yet.
Well, that's just it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll defer to the next meeting.
All right, thank you.
Obviously, a lot of questions. One more thing, at the zoning board reorganization, there was some discussion about planning, zoning, and township committee having a meeting. I think Rich, you were there, I know Judy. Are we going to go forward with that to get better clarity on this, the ordinance of the entirety as an area of rehabilitation?
That's the second question?
Pardon me?
That's a separate question?
Part of the whole concept, yes.
Yeah, the administrator should make that available.
Yeah.
And so, the township committee is authorizing administrators to go forward with that meeting as suggested at the zoning board reorganization?
Yes.
I'll be honest, we couldn't discuss it that night because we all showed up for the reorganization.
No, that's
Yeah.
true, yes. But can we move forward with that? Can the committee authorize going ahead with that meeting to have some clarity on this whole?
We could add the clarity, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'd like to move that we would indeed clarify with the zoning board where these locations are acceptable and what stipulations they have. Yes.
Bruce, I think that any ordinance, especially one like this, because the base of the ordinance can't be modified. That the state sets that, but all the other things that are around it, that's up to us, or us as a town. That's part of it. There's other things in there that can be revisited based on how well it worked. This has been in place for a few years now. We kind of seen some good stuff and maybe not some good stuff. So, you know, revisiting something like this is not a bad idea.
So we can't go forward and do it.
I would like to see it, yes.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, you can? Because Bruce was going in and out on me there. I didn't hear very much of what Bruce said.
We can hear you.
Okay, moving on. Do we have anybody else, Brett?
No, that was it.
Okay, thank you. Discussions, we have nothing. Public hearing, adoption of ordinances, nothing. Introduction of ordinances, we have nothing. So we go to award of bids, contracts, and change orders. 10A, change order for bid number 2022-09 to Peterson Service Company for heating, ventilation, and air conditioning service in the amount of $5,840. Questions, comments?
Well, this is for,
This is to add on the MUA building on Kenskull Avenue into our,
Yeah, there has to be maintenance to that MUA building, and the estimate is $5,800.
I had a question.
go ahead.
Earlier, I had talked with Britt, Township Administrator, concerning the deed for the MUA. And at the time that we discussed from the emails and stuff that we were going back and forth, we do not have the deed to that building yet. I understand it's in the process, but we don't have it. So who is responsible for these expenses?
We have a contract.
We are.
I believe, Brett, do you have that contract?
Yes.
And
But we don't own it yet. I know we're in the process of owning it. I tried to get this clarified prior to the meeting, so I wouldn't have to ask this question.
Does the contract state a date where
Yeah.
township took over?
It says that the deed will be prepared within 45 days, and it hasn't been finished yet.
And are we still within the 45 days?
We're close.
So my question is, with us having a budgetary problems this year, I could understand once we take the building over, it would be our responsibility, but we have not officially done that yet. So I feel that the MUA still should be paying this bill and not us.
Well, this is just adding the building to our existing contract. We don't, if you choose not to, we don't have to add it. We can fix it as things come up. This is just a proactive, they go in, they change the filters, they inspect the heater and the air conditioner and the chiller and things like that.
I understand that, but it was just the issue of us putting the cart before the horse. If we don't actually have the deed, that was my question. And we did talk about this, so I don't want to seem like I'm putting nobody on blast, but we don't have the deed yet.
Understood.
So technically, we don't own it. So I don't know if you want to pull it, table it, or what you should do.
Well,
Is
we
there
can
any
table
coverage
it
on this
until,
building as it sits right now. So the MUA has no coverage, and we have no coverage as
It,
of right now.
we've insured the building.
Okay, so the way service contracts work, if you have a service contract, they will come out whenever you call them.
Right.
If you don't have a service contract and you call them out and it's on a Sunday afternoon, you're gonna pay probably more than what this amount is right here. So to have the building not covered by either entity is not very prudent.
That's not the question.
I understand, I'm not saying that I appreciate what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that we've got to come to an agreement here. Somebody has to take over the maintenance of the building.
Well, there's other expenses that we need a roof. They need a roof. They need floors. So if something happens to the roof and we have to do repairs and we don't have the deed yet, are we still responsible? That's my question.
I think we should move forward on establishing the deed. We've already moved the MUA over here, and it was under contract, so let's move forward on the deed,
Oh, absolutely.
okay? And
But I guess the question is, how do you want to proceed
What's-
with this?
how do we want to
contract?
proceed with this?
well, you can table it until the next meeting and make sure that deed is made in full.
Okay.
I would.
Is that your
And we'll just-
motion?
And we'll pay it,
My
we'll
motion.
just, if something comes up, then we'll just get quotes and deal with it that way.
No.
Or the MUA will,
The
will deal
MUA,
with it that way.
Until
Okay.
we actually own it, they're still responsible.
Well, what does the contract say? That's my question. Is there any wording in the contract saying that we are responsible or the MUA is responsible from whatever the date the contract was signed?
Days from the day they moved into this building is when it's supposed to be done.
But it hasn't been done yet, so.
That's the point. Can I say something?
Really, nobody should.
The deed is being prepared. In fact, our council was talking about how it is possession today. You should receive it probably tomorrow. That's my understanding.
I don't know if anybody else is, I can't hear anything.
No, she didn't.
Well, you have to
It's
go
not
up
at
to
the
the
mic.
mic. So if the deed will,
But due to the fact that this is an issue and Ms. Dix is giving her commentary, it's prepared.
Mary Jo, could you just let everybody know who you are?
Andrew Councilman and current chair of the Hamilton Township MUA.
Thank you.
Mr. Lafferty, who's our solicitor, that deed is prepared, he's reviewing the final draft of it. I expect to sign it tomorrow, and then Brett will have it, and you folks will have it.
Okay.
That's, I actually got an email of the draft today. Again, I'm not a lawyer, but I did review it, and I know Randy has it.
Okay.
Natalie went over it as well.
So are we gonna table this until we get it?
One table, I just wanted you
Yeah.
folks to know that.
All right, thank you.
well, if something
any issues
happens
with
in
the heating now?
between,
The only issues that we had so far were the utilities, the transfer of utilities, the gas, the electric, and the
But
water
in all
service.
reality, if we were to freeze up right now,
It's,
and the building was, we'll take the building over anyway, it's gonna cost us.
well, Public Works is in there every day doing building checks to make sure that there's nothing
Okay.
like that would happen, but if something breaks, then we would, until the deed's signed, we would call the MUA and have them send their people out.
Okay, so I believe we have a motion to table this.
Second.
Or
Yes.
Can we possibly go ahead and push this forward based on the deed being signed? In other words, this will go ahead the minute, excuse me, the administrator gets the deed.
Well, according to Robert's Rules of Order, it's been tabled in a second.
There is discussion, is there not?
yeah,
Is it-
yeah, there is.
Okay.
That on
Now, the
Robert's-
price is from this day on, right?
Yes.
So
An annual-
by tabling it and taking it next meeting or the following meeting, it's still gonna be the same price.
I can check on that. It might be a little less.
Not much.
Not much.
We all know that, but by taking it, in all reality, you're buying insurance for the heating and ventilation of this building. We're
Well-
gonna take it over anyway, no matter what.
Yes. But we're monitoring it
Yeah,
every day.
yeah,
It's just if
yeah.
something breaks, we would call the MUA and let them handle the problem instead of us handling the problem.
The
still
MUA
watching.
building was renovated in 1983. The heating system has not been improved since then. So you're looking at 40 years.
Could
Average
break.
heating system lasts 20 to 25.
Can we
Read it.
pass this on the, I'm speaking to the idea of tabling it, that resolution, but can we take it on the condition that the signed, it will be in effect as of the signed deed?
Then you're gonna have to change the motion. Because you've already tabled it, now we're
Well,
second.
I can rescind that. I rescind the tabling of this motion.
Okay,
All right, second.
and what would you like to do?
Okay, I would like to place in motion or a resolution that this change order be in effect when we get the signed deed.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second on that?
A second.
Motion and a second. Roll call vote. Rita?
Mr. Cheek,
I have to abstain due to the fact that my company and Peterson are in the same contractors association.
Mrs. Link,
Yes.
Mr. Schenker,
Yes.
Dr. Witherspoon,
Yes.
Mayor Patali.
Yes.
4 yes, 1 abstention, motion carries.
10B. This is to reject the bids that we received for Leapy Field concession stand and restroom building plan as per NJSA 40A 1113.2 A and B.
So moved.
The lowest bid substantially exceeded the cost estimates for the work out there on Leapy. So, Brett, you want to go over what our options are with this?
So the engineer's estimate for this project was $560,000. Our low bid was substantially higher. At this point, since we haven't budgeted that much money, we can throw the bids out. We can transfer funds if this committee wanted to. They could transfer funds into this ordinance to cover the extra costs, but it's a stretch. That's pretty much, or you could wait till the next budget year and do a new bond ordinance and reappropriate some more money towards the project then, and then rebid it.
Discussion?
Will we rebid it now?
It's been properly moved in second. Yeah, or we just on discussion?
Discussion.
I have a motion from Dr. Witherspoon.
Well, you said so moved, but was there
We
a
didn't get
second?
there was never a second.
There was
Oh,
no second.
and I did not hear her. I'm sorry.
Wasn't a second.
Okay.
So we have a motion.
I gave the
Okay.
motion, we just didn't get the second.
All right.
What is the motion?
The motion is rejecting the bids received.
Rejecting the bid.
Right.
Yeah. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Cheek,
Yes.
Mrs. Link,
Yes.
Mr. Schenker,
Yes.
Dr. Witherspoon,
Yes.
Mayor Patali.
Yes.
All yes and carried.
Consent agenda. I know I would like to pull E. Anybody else?
G.
G?
Yeah.
Pulling G.
Talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, this is the solicitor speaking. I'd also recommend pulling item F off the consent agenda and addressing that separately.
Okay. So right now we're pulling E, G, and F. Do I hear a motion for the others?
So moved.
From A to D, you have to,
Second.
second.
We have a motion and a second for A through D. All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Ayes have it. E. Budget transfers recommended by the Chief Financial Officer. Cynthia, would you like to go over this, please?
According to the budget law, transfers are allowable during the first 3 months of the succeeding budget year, meaning January, February, March. And the transfers are made in the event that bills come in for the previous year in the month of January. They could come in February or March. And this particular transfer is for the legal line item, special counsel, that doesn't have enough funds in it for the payment of the special counsel or the labor counsel. So these funds will be transferred from, from Human Resources, Salary and Wages, where we received some extra funds there because of the resignation of our Human Resources Director, so we're transferring from those salary line item into the Legal Services Special Counsel.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I'll motion.
Any discussion or questions?
Oh, I'm sorry.
The other thing is, when we hire an HR, is there going to be enough money to pay?
That would be the 23 budget.
Oh, okay.
This is for 2022 budget, last year's
Okay,
budget.
so that's left over from?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So moved then?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Cheek?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Shanker?
Yes.
Dr. Witherspoon?
Yes.
Mayor Patali?
Yes.
Oh, yes, and carried.
11F, resolution authorizing tax collector to cancel tax title lien 19-00140 as owner was in bankruptcy at time of tax sale. Mr. Solicitor?
Yes, so I can report on this. Essentially, we filed a judgment in rem. Nobody bid, so it went into in rem foreclosure action. Apparently, the owner had declared bankruptcy prior to us receiving the judgment, but they failed to provide us with notice of that. Notwithstanding the lack of appropriate notice, we are in a position where we do have to vacate that judgment. It is understood that if and when the property is sold, or after the stay is lifted from the bankruptcy, we will be the first to be paid in 2024 or upon the sale of the property.
Very good.
I'll make a motion to move.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. Rita, let's do a roll call vote on that.
Okay. Mr. Cheek?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Shanker?
Yes.
Dr. Witherspoon?
Yes.
Mayor Patali?
Yes.
Oh, yes, and carried.
And 11G, resolution of the Township of Hamilton supporting the application of Royal Highness Dispensary, LLC, to the State of New Jersey Cannabis Regulatory Commission for a Class 5 retail cannabis license within the Township of Hamilton, County of Atlantic, State of New Jersey. Discussion?
Do we have to do, we have to move and second it before the discussion?
No.
Oh.
I believe, Judy, did you want to pull this?
You know, there are some contentions about the ordinance that okays this resolution or supports this resolution. So I feel as though until we have a clarity on that, I would like to table it.
There was an updated resolution on this that was presented tonight, 11G.
This is updated resolution right here.
Yeah.
So
I was under the impression that we were just changing the address of the application.
You're adding.
Yeah, I think
Adding the address.
Yeah.
And-
Brett has some information.
And it was
Yes,
reviewed by the solicitor.
Yes.
yes, but the ordinance that designates it anywhere in the township, although it says designated zoning district, which zoning district is this? I think we should just hold up on this until we have further clarification as to what zones are available for the cannabis. I feel as though in each one of those zones that are, or areas that are designated, there could be 4 possible, applications. And, I mean, that's my feeling. I would rather see it explored a little bit more and know exactly what zone district we're talking about.
I have a question. The secured retail site is the new location, the address change 7685 Black Horse Pike?
Yes.
Now,
And this is an existing commercial, this was a existing commercial use out there, just so you know. This isn't,
This is highway commercial? Is
I-
that what you
I
would say
believe
it
so,
would be?
yeah.
Does, go ahead, Richie, you had something.
no, we have restrictions on how close to schools, churches, et cetera, et cetera. This all fits into it, so what zoning district are you looking for?
I'm looking to what district this is involved in. Highway commercial?
Oh, I see, okay.
So do we
I-
know if
I
this-
believe-
As the ordinance says, it says the list, within the list of designated zoning districts. Is this within one of those districts?
yes.
Okay.
What are the districts?
What are all the districts? I don't have that information, but I was told that this is within an applicable district to put this business.
So this, like every other application to a redevelopment plan, is a standalone. This is all by itself. It doesn't blanket anything. It's just an application for redevelopment plan, which is already set in place. This is within the zone. I don't know why we have a reason to not put this through unless there's something wrong with it. It's going against the ordinance in some way.
This is strictly a resolution of local endorsement for a retail cannabis establishment under contract to purchase the Platinum Playground on the Black Horse Pike. This isn't redevelopment. This is just the township endorsement of their cannabis license,
Okay, so.
which they need to go to the state to get their whatever, permits, licenses they need from the state.
So you're saying that it isn't under redevelopment, it's under,
This-
regular commercial, transfer of land, and they want to put cannabis where the Platinum is. Is that correct?
Correct. It is not currently under redevelopment. This is strictly us endorsing their retail cannabis establishment, which they need in order to go forward.
Okay.
Basically, it was an address change, is the way I understood it.
Originally, they were going to put their establishment in Gloucester Township. They
Right.
chose to move to Hamilton Township.
Right, so this resolution basically was for an address change.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
We didn't pass it before.
Make a motion that we move this.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Rita, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Yes. Mr. Cheek?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
No,
Mr. Schenker?
Yes.
Dr. Witherspoon?
Yes,
Mayor Patali?
Yes.
4 yes, 1 no, motion carries.
Moving on, personnel.
They need it.
12A, appointment of Mahogany Henderson as a full-time communications officer for the police department.
so move.
second,
I have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Mayor, can we state the salary online, please?
Absolutely. Salary is $47,091.18. This appointment is contingent upon the successful completion of the background process and this appointment will fill a vacant position.
Thank you.
Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Cheek?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Shanker?
Yes.
Dr. Witherspoon?
Yes.
Mayor Patali?
Yes.
All yes and carry.
12B, resolution to appointment John Green as a truck driver laborer, 2, in the Public Works Department at $39,080.88 annually, effective 2/6/23. Employment contingent upon successful completion of background check and employment physical drug screen, and must obtain a CDL-A within 1 year.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do we have a second?
Yes. Art Shanker, seconded.
Okay. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Cheek?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Shanker?
Yes.
Dr. Witherspoon?
Yes.
Mayor Patali?
Yes.
All yes and carry.
12C, resolution to appoint Charles Wilbert as an on-call responder in the Public Works Department at $1,963.00 annually, effective 1/18/2023.
So moved.
This is to fill a vacant on-call responder slot. We have a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Cheek?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Shanker?
Yes.
Dr. Witherspoon?
Yes.
Mayor Patali?
Yes.
All yes and carry.
12D, resolution appointing alternate member of the Great Egg Harbor National Scenic and Recreational River Council for a 2-year term effective February 1st, 2023 through February 1st, 2025. And this is where we have the letter of recommendation from the Great Egg Harbor National Scenic and Recreation River Council. They recommend Denise Applegate, and we have her application is in our packet. What's your pleasure?
Motion?
Second.
Motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Cheek?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Shanker?
Yes.
Dr. Witherspoon?
Yes.
Mayor Patali?
Yes.
All yes and carry.
12E, resolution appointing member of the Industrial Commission for an unexpired 5-year term to expire 12/31/26.
I'd like
the
to
name of
nominate
Roy
Mark
Foster.
Cohen.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Which one did you
We
hear?
have two
There's
Wait.
two.
motions.
Yeah. I heard.
I heard Mark Cohen.
I nominated Mark Cohen.
All right. A motion by Judy Lenk for Mark Cohen,
Second.
and a second.
We have a motion and a second for Mark Cohen. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Cheek?
No.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Shanker?
No.
Dr. Witherspoon?
Yes.
Mayor Patali?
No.
3 no, 2 yes. Motion is defeated.
Put the name of Roy Foster forward.
Second?
I have a motion and a second for Roy Foster. A roll call vote, please.
Mr. Cheek?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
No.
Mr. Shanker?
Yes.
Dr. Witherspoon?
Yes.
Mayor Patali?
Yes.
4 yes, 1 no. Motion carries.
12F, appointment of members, Senior Citizens Advisory Committee. We have a couple of openings and we have a couple of names. What's your pleasure?
So do we have to move each person?
Yes.
Submit each name?
Or do we go down
Yes.
the list?
My understanding is, as long as nobody objects to any of the names, you can take items F1 through F7 all at once. If there are any names to which you object, you'd have to pull them out and vote separately on those.
Okay, I don't have no problems with any of the names, but then there's 3 vacancies with no names. So I don't want to just be approving the vacancy. without a name.
Well,
I want to, if we can approve the names that are submitted, I'm fine with that.
Yes, absolutely.
So just for clarification, William Schmidt would be for the member for the Fairways representative. And then, what are the other three names?
James Carrigan,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know which,
He would be a member at large.
Right,
and then we have a Diane Fox
correct.
and a Vivian Ragana.
Okay,
We only have 4 names. so
correct.
I don't mind appointing those 4, but not just blank 1
Correct.
through 7, because we don't have names for the other 3.
So do we have to do the Fairways representatives separately? The rest of them would be at large, I believe.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes, it's Vivian Regan, R-A-G-A-N. So the motion would be for William Schmidt for Fairways, James Kerrigan, Diane Fox, and Vivian Regan for 3 member citizens, and then you're going to leave the other 2 empty? Or
For now.
3
3.
empty? Right? Okay.
Okay, so moved?
second,
We have a motion and a second. We have a roll call vote, please.
Yes, just one sec. Mr. Cheek?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
yes.
Mr. Schenker?
Yes.
Dr. Witherspoon?
Yes.
Mayor Patali?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
12G, appointment of members, Veterans Advisory Board. I believe we did get some new names.
On the advisory board, we did already have Mr. Judge, but I understand he doesn't want it.
Correct.
He did not, he said he didn't want it, no.
Yeah, he doesn't want it,
He does
so,
not want to be reappointed.
so it's Joshua Manager? And we have Roman, I can't pronounce the last name.
Burtis.
Robertus.
Those 2
Yep.
names. And then the vacant ones we will leave out. I mean, we just appoint those that until
Or,
we get
or
a,
appear, yeah.
okay, I'm fine with that.
So we would give
that a
Joshua
motion?
and Roman the two of the 3-year slots, correct?
The first 2.
That's your motion.
Number 1 and 2, correct? Yeah.
The
I need a
3-year
motion
term.
to
So
do
moved.
that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Second.
thank you.
We have a motion and a second. We have a roll call vote, please.
Yep. Mr. Cheek?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes,
Mr. Schenker?
Yes.
Dr. Witherspoon?
Yes.
Mayor Patali?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
12H and I, resolution to appoint JIF Fund Commissioner and alternate Fund Commissioner, appointing Chantel Pollock as JIF Fund Commissioner with an annual compensation of $3,500, and appoint Brett Knoll as the alternate JIF Fund Commissioner.
So moved.
What's your pleasure?
Second?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Cheek?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
yes.
Mr. Schenker?
Yes.
Dr. Witherspoon?
Yes.
Mayor Patali?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
12J, resolution to rescind offer of employment to Joseph Hansen.
So moved,
I
Second.
have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Cheek?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
yes.
Mr. Schenker?
Yes.
Dr. Witherspoon?
Yes.
Mayor Patali?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
And 12K, resolution appointing Rita Martino as an agency redactor for the Township of Hamilton in accordance with Daniels Law implementation.
Motion.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. We have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Cheek?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes,
Mr. Schenker?
Yes.
Dr. Witherspoon?
Yes.
Mayor Patali?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
Okay. We have approvals. Approval for the minutes, reorganization and regular meeting of January 3rd, 2023.
So moved.
Have a motion?
Dr. Witherspoon, second.
And I so moved.
Okay. Gotcha. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Oh, I can't vote. I'm an abstention, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you
4
can't
yes,
vote.
1 abstention. Motion carries.
We have the special meeting minutes of December 27th, 2022.
Motion?
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Cheek?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Schenker?
Staying.
Dr. Witherspoon?
Abstain.
Mayor Patali?
Yes.
3 yes, 2 abstention. Motion carries.
We have the bill list, total $6,035,660.06.
Come on,
We have a motion?
come on, Art, spend it.
I can't.
Why?
Too high.
I'll motion.
We have a motion?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Cheek?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Schenker?
Staying.
Dr. Witherspoon?
Yes, I guess I'm too late for a question, since we're in the vote, right? Yes.
Mayor Patali?
Yes.
4 yes, 1 abstention. Motion carries.
Reports, Mr. Administrator.
Since Mr. Shanker's back, I am not going to add anything to my lengthy written report, but I did want to thank all of the department heads, our professionals, Public Works, for a very productive first 2 weeks on the job. Thank you.
Thanks, Brett. Mr. Solicitor.
I have nothing to report this evening.
Very good.
It's always good
Mr.
news.
Mr. Engineer.
Thank you, Mayor. I did email out to the committee a hot topics or a little report of some of the projects that are upcoming. If you wanted me to go through it, or if you had any questions regarding that report, I'm here to answer what I can. Most of these projects are what I've sat down with the administrator and went over last week, and what are on the list to try to get done and out for this year. So, if there's any comments, or you want me to go through the report, I can.
I just have a question. Where you have highlighted grant,
Yes.
do we have a grant or we're applying for it?
No, so those highlighted ones are grants from New Jersey DOT, municipal aid, that were received and applied for in the years that are shown. So we do have that money available.
And where the grant does not cover the entire expenditure, are we responsible for the other part?
That is correct.
Do we have the money?
I believe these cost estimates were done last summer, so I believe it was budgeted for these projects accordingly. So in speaking with Mr. Knoll, they were budgeted for it.
It was in the budget. No?
Only the 2022.
I
we
stand
have the money?
corrected.
Do we have the money? Yeah. We don't know.
Yeah, but the other ones, the 2022 were budgeted, both of them,
In the road program, correct?
the road
Yes,
program.
we budgeted for the 2022 spring, well, fall and spring road program and both municipal aid projects we have budgeted from 2022.
And Bob, on the Atlantic Avenue Phase 3,
Mm-hmm.
I believe, no, Phase 2, taking us to Summers Point Road, up
Yes.
there by Sugar Hill. Eventually, the bike path is going to come down there, and I brought this up with EDA. I want to make sure we look into, because that bike path is going to come down and it's going to hit the forest fire property, and I think it's going to have to come out and probably go along the road. So I just want to make sure we keep that in mind and reach out to whoever we have to reach out to, because I would hate to do this work and then a year or 2 years from now have, be back out there again and ripping up part of our work to put a bike lane in. So I want you to keep that in mind and see what we can do to try to make sure we don't do something and then have to rip it back up a couple years later.
Absolutely. I believe on the 4-year plan, there was another grant being applied for the bike path along that stretch. That's not included into the Babcock Bikeway. So I'm going to look into that cost estimate and preliminary concept so we can incorporate it into the 2022 municipal aid one.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Very good. Thank you.
Yep.
I just have one other question.
Yes, Doctor.
On 2023, I see that the survey work will begin on February 2023.
Yeah, that's
The
it.
plans got to be submitted
So
by March 20th.
So that was our anticipated timeframe as long as the budgeted, but I was speaking with the CFO, that section was not budgeted, so we're going to hold off until obviously the budget's passed, or ideally, it's going to take about 2 months, 3 months to get feedback from DOT. So if we can pull together a budget and anticipate it, I'd rather be proactive and, work with the town and get that submitted so we can get on a timely basis and hopefully be able to go out to construction shortly after the budget, or award it shortly after the budget's approved.
Thank you.
Yep.
Are we talking about the New York Avenue phase and the Babcock bike path?
That is correct. Yeah.
Okay. So when do you suspect that, when we have a budget, that you can submit that, or?
Yeah, we can submit a preliminary design for it, as soon as possible, but we can't award the project until we have the budget, so we won't know.
Okay.
So we're willing to work with the town to get that submitted and moving. So then once the budget is passed and it's approved, then we can go out to bid with it and award it. I'm not sure when the budget will be passed, so I have to work with the CFO on that.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Anything else for our engineer? Moving on to committee members. Judy.
Oh, thank goodness we got through reorg on January 3rd. It was a trying one because we only had 4 votes. It could have lasted until the wee hours of the night if we voted 2 and 2 and 2 and 2 for all the appointments. But we took the upper path, Dr. Thelma Witherspoon and myself, making sure that we have a complete set of professionals and appointments that were necessary for us to carry on. And I still maintain that we have a lot of work to do on the ordinance that claims the whole entire Hamilton Township is under redevelopment. I do want to see a lot of adjustments to that. And that's it.
Thank you. Mr. Cheek.
I have nothing to report, except this is our big week, and go Eagles.
Dr. Witherspoon.
I have nothing to report.
Mr. Schenker.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd just like to, I'll be brief because it's really warm in here, and I'm sure everybody wants to head out. I just want to thank a few people. First of all, I want to thank my wife for being here with me tonight. It was very important to have her by my side, as she is always. Besides, I needed somebody to make sure I put the right hand up and the other right hand on the Bible, so that, I thank her for that. Also like to thank Atlantic County Commissioner Amy Gatto for coming out here and swearing me in. She's very busy. Matter of fact, she had to rush here from a meeting to make it here on time, so I thank her for that. Also, I want to thank the Township Committee for a unanimous vote. It's very humbling, and I'm looking forward to working with all of you on these issues that are before us, especially Judy with working on this redevelopment ordinance. I believe as I saw before I got up here, there's a lot of contention with the redevelopment ordinance, and I think it's time that we looked at it and we get it to where it needs to be. A lot of things have changed in there in a few years, and I don't know if they're all working well for us, so we need to look at it and revisit it. Something that I was part of when it came, and it seems to have grown a little bit since then. So I need some time to look it over and really get to understand where it's at right now, and then I look forward to working with the Township Committee and our administrator and getting it where it needs to be. It is a important tool that this town must have. Our two towns around us have it, and they've been very fortunate with it, and I hope it works the same for us. We seem to be stumbling a little bit right now, but I think we can get that back on track. So that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Schenker. I'd like to congratulate and welcome Mr. Schenker onto committee. He's been up here before. He knows how things work. It's going to be, I think it's going to be a nice, smooth transition, and he's going to bring a lot of wealth and knowledge to the committee and to our town. So welcome aboard.
Thank you, Carl.
And I want to say that Brett Knoll has done a really nice job so far, getting some answers for us, putting out a couple of fires. Really appreciate his work, and I really appreciate all the employees in Town Hall rallying around and giving him a hand where needed. He's in a tough situation, and he's pulling through really, really well. And just thanks a lot, Brett, and keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Something kind of near and dear to me, on Thursday, they're going to bid on the dam. So we're that much closer. Thursday, bids come in, I believe, Brett, 11 a.m. or 2 p.m.?
11 a.m.
11 a.m. Brett's bids will be open for the dam, and hopefully they come in nice and low, and we'll make good use out of that $4.6 million that we got from the federal government. And that's all for me. So we will open this up to public comment. Hey, Rich, since you're there, can you handle this?
Not a problem. You can't see anyone. Go ahead. Good.
I can't. Yeah. I'm moving over now, but I really can't see too well.
Please state your name.
And I can't hear her at all.
Is the mic on?
I don't think the mic's on.
Can you make sure the microphone's on?
Can somebody check the mic, please?
Can you hear it, Carl?
No.
Hold on one
It might
second.
not be on.
Chris is turning the mic on.
It's on. Ah, there we go.
Want to use this mic?
Got any dentist office music we can play while we're waiting?
Here, go ahead and slide. Excuse me. Excuse me, while he's doing that, why don't you slide right over to that mic?
Yeah, have a seat, make yourself comfortable.
No, don't
All right, no
stand, don't
problem.
sit, you'll be there too long. It's hot in here.
Hi, Alice Henry Drosera. I am just here because I'm still very concerned with the issue regarding Trophy Park. I've been taking time to look over the redevelopment and housing law, and I'm concerned, have you guys actually done a preliminary investigation of the proposed land for Trophy Park?
Has there been an investigation?
Has there been a preliminary investigation of the land proposed for Trophy Park?
For what?
Whether or not it would be an applicable site by the committee?
We're not that far into it
Okay.
as of yet.
Just figured I'd ask. It doesn't hurt to ask,
No
right?
problem.
So as I was reading the redevelopment and housing law, I'm particularly concerned with 40A colon 12A-3, and wondering, should this area, why would it be considered for redevelopment or rehabilitation based upon how it's defined in that particular section? And I was wondering if the committee could possibly look into that and come back to address it.
We'll have our administrator look into that.
Thank you.
Development.
And then my last thing that I wanted to ask was, according to the MOU for Trophy Park, in my opinion, it kind of conflicts with the township-wide redevelopment plan goal number 1, which is to maintain existing neighborhoods. So I just would like the committee to please keep all those things in mind while looking into Trophy Park.
No problem.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Strye, are you next?
Thank you. I just want to add one more thing.
Right over to the microphone, Bruce.
Yeah, this
Oh,
one.
is
Oh,
that-
no, I can hear him. I'm
Oh,
good.
no. Okay, you got it, Chris?
Is that
Okay.
one?
Yeah.
Chris is all over it.
I just want to add one more thing briefly to the cannabis and the development ordinance. And maybe Mr. Watkins can weigh in. He was the zoning board, he is a zoning board planner, and he may have some answers on the zone. The zone where this is, I believe it's FA 70. I'm not trying to put you on the spot because it's complicated. Do you know off the top of your head?
No, I said it may be or may not. I'm not
Okay,
sure.
all right, then we'll let that go then. Brett mentioned he has a written report, but deferred that. And I thought many times, there have been, not Brett and also our attorney and our township engineer, present to you written reports, I do believe, okay? Is there any way that they can be posted on the website? I'm sure Brett in his report had some interesting things that the public may be interested in, maybe not. But in lieu of submitting only written reports and not reading them to the public, would it be possible to post those on the website after they are presented? Don't expect an answer now, but it would be of interest to those of us that are interested. At the reorganization meeting, there was question about 2 holidays, Juneteenth and Election Day. And both of those were, it was voted on to add it to this night's meeting, whether or not those would be added as holidays. It was not on the agenda tonight. So, are those 2 holidays holidays or not?
I believe we will be discussing that in executive session.
Okay, but then I would defer that to your attorney, if I may.
That would be the labor attorney, not this attorney.
Okay, okay, well, why would 2 holidays qualify as executive session material? I mean, I don't, under what, there's like 7 or 9 different categories that can be placed in executive session. Which one do discussing holidays fall under executive?
I believe it comes under labor. I don't know.
Well, that's why, I mean, what you're doing is talking, you're saying you're going to talk about those items in executive session. I'm just asking.
I don't know.
So if I may, I think I can
Go
help out a
ahead,
little bit.
please.
Those two items will not be discussed in executive session this evening. I believe we went back on the record the same night of the reorganization meeting and addressed that on the record at that hearing.
You know you did, and I tried very hard to listen to what was said. I listened to the audio online, and I could not hear any of it. So what was the pardon me?
It was adopted.
Okay.
Holidays by resolution.
Okay. I didn't hear, it was hard to, we don't have the minutes, and couldn't hear, so.
Okay.
But that's been all settled? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. One other thing. I raised at the last, I think, maybe it was the last meeting, the hiring of the zoning officer. I did a little further research to dig a little bit deeper, and it appears, I did another OPRA, request for information. It appears there was no application filed, no references, and no certificates. So if there was no application filed by the applicant to the township, how did you know to contact the person? In other words, there was absolutely nothing. No education requirements, no experience requirements, no application was filed, absolutely zero on file in the township regarding the application of the zoning officer. Now, I'm not picking on the zoning officer, okay? I'm questioning the hiring practices of township committee. If you don't need an applicant, how do you just come up with a name and you call somebody? I mean, does anybody know how the person was contacted, the information that was used to contact the person to come in for an interview if they never filed an application?
Bruce, I can look into it.
Would
I
you
haven't
please?
looked into it, but I will.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Again, I'm not picking on that. It's the hiring practices that I think need addressed. If you're not going to, if you can't take the time to apply online, the advertisement, and it's not even clear if it was advertised, by the way. Okay, and in the advertisement it said go online and apply. There's an application process online. So that needs some serious consideration of how we hire people here.
Hey, Bruce.
Yes.
Bruce, can I make a statement?
Please.
That was under
Joe,
another administrator, and I really don't want to discuss it all that much, but he's no longer with us, and we are moving forward. And I understand your questions. I asked for resumes to that administrator, to our former administrator, and I was told I wasn't allowed to see them.
Okay.
So,
all right, well, that's not.
Moving forward.
Okay. It's public record. I mean, come on. That's not a good answer. Not a good answer.
No, it is a good answer, and that's where, and you even said that you saw the hesitation and the questions, and actually the zoning officer's immediate supervisor isn't here tonight. She was unable to attend tonight,
okay.
And I wish she was here because she could give more answers.
Okay, all right. My point is you need to clean up your act to make sure something like this does not happen. These positions are critical to help you, okay, to serve the public. So enough said. That's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Kerrigan.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Jim.
And Brett, for the next 60 days.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What college did you attend, Brett?
Right now, Rutgers University.
What school? There's one on campus at ACC now.
I'm in Newark, Rutgers, Newark.
Okay. Yeah. No, I went to ACC for 1 year also.
I took quite a few classes at ACC as well.
and my grade point average was 1.3. That is it.
1.3.
Too much partying. Take care, folks.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Jim.
He doesn't laugh.
That's my favorite comment so far.
Good evening. My name is Fred Akers. I'm the operations manager for the Great Egg Harbor River Council, and I want to thank you all for your support of the council. You're a very active member. And today, I sent a letter and some information to to you all that I thought needed to be aware of that. So I'm going to read the cover letter because it's pretty quick, and I think that'll do my presentation. So the River Council, at its 12/21/22 meeting, passed a resolution supporting stronger municipal off-road ATV ordinances for River Council municipalities and including new model ordinances for the Township of Hamilton. So this is about illegal all-terrain vehicles and dirt bikes in Hamilton Township. So all across South Jersey and in the Township of Hamilton, there has been a significant increase in illegally operated all-terrain vehicles and dirt bikes on public streets, highways, and rights-of-way, causing increased threats to the public welfare by interfering with pedestrian and legal vehicle traffic. New Jersey recently enacted a new law that designates illegally operated all-terrain vehicles and dirt bikes as contraband, subject to forfeiture, and then may be destroyed. So this is something pretty new. In order for the township to use this new law as a deterrent, a new ordinance must be adopted by the town. Last year, Egg Harbor Township, Vineland City, Atlantic City, Absecon City, and Pleasantville City determined that illegal ATV operations are a growing threat and adopted new ordinances based on existing and new NJ state laws regarding all-terrain vehicles and dirt bikes for forfeiture and to ban direct refueling at gas stations. In addition to public safety, the Great Egg Harbor River Council also has serious concerns about the environmental destruction of Gravelly Run and other natural areas by all-terrain vehicles and dirt bikes. So therefore, the Great Egg Harbor River Council urges the Township of Hamilton to give serious consideration to adopting new ordinances to help deter the increase in illegal use of all-terrain vehicles and dirt bikes to protect safety and the environment. So the Gravelly Run issue is really big. It's really a problem. And we're working on a strategic plan to try to solve that. It's very complicated. So we'll be back to talk with you more about how we're going to deal with that. But also, let me offer that I'll be happy to come back to talk about these ordinances and answer any questions or share my knowledge about them. So anyways, it's good to be here. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Bill Chrisman, and I want to thank you for reappointing me to the Great Egg Harbor River Council at last meeting. It'll be 23 years now that I've been reappointed to serve on the commission from its beginning with Fred. I'd also like to thank you for appointing, for the first time tonight, Denise Applegate, because she's going to be my alternate, and I can't express how happy I am to have her, because what Fred just talked about with Gravelly Run, she is very involved, and she can probably explain to you, because she's been more involved even than I have been, which I am now going to be very involved with. But it's going to be a great addition to the River Council and to our township. What Fred is talking about, I want to put forth to you, we need to take this very seriously. What's happening in Gravelly Run is beyond belief. If anyone would like to take a little walk out there, give me a call, or Denise, we'd be happy to give you a half hour, 45-minute walk out there. It will absolutely blow your mind, the damage and the destruction that is happening to our Gravelly Run Creek and the area. Trees are being cut down, paths are being made. They're actually using the riverbed itself as a raceway. And we found this year that the herring, after many, many years, have stopped spawning far up.
Netters killed that. The netters at the boat killed the nets.
We have found in the last couple of months that the herring have begun to run back up the Gravelly Run Creek. We've seen them this year after many years. The problem now is we've got the ATVs in there which are going to, it's destroying the riverbed. You have to see it for yourself. So I urge the Township Committee to take this seriously. It's not just the destruction of the land. I live right in the Gravelly Run area, and 3 times now, within the last 6 months, I've been going through the industrial park, as many of us do. We cut back to get to Route 40 from Mays Landing, Summers Point Road. 3 times, myself personally, at night, have come within 15 or 20 foot of hitting an all-terrain vehicle. No lights on it, pitch dark, 9:30, 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. They dart out, they go across. And I don't know if it's a game, I don't know if they're not thinking, I don't know what the purpose or the reason is, but myself, I know it's got to be happening to other people. It's a danger. It's dangerous. They're running across Ocean Heights Avenue, they're running across Babcock Road, and they're running across the industrial park roadways. Somebody's going to get hurt real bad because it's not just a few people having fun. We are talking as many as, it could be in the hundreds. It's really growing and becoming very out of hand. So I would highly suggest to the Township Committee, could we take this serious? And I know, Denise, if you have anything you'd like to add, I don't want to put you on the spot. But you couldn't have a better alternative serving on the River Council, and I'm very, very pleased to have you.
Thank you. Thank you for the appointment. I appreciate it. I think a few of you know I've been pretty passionate about Gravelly Run for a few years. Looking forward to working with these fine folks on that initiative. Jason Howell's also here. I've been working with Jason on another initiative that is more of a statewide project through the Pinelands Preservation Alliance called Fix Our Parks, and you guys have heard me talk about that before too. So I've hosted several cleanups at Gravelly Run. Bill is not understating the issue that we're having with the off-road vehicles and the destruction that's going on back there. And with regard to the river herring, I heard you guys chime in that you can't catch them anyway, but where it's
Right, because the federal government let the netters have, because all the money runs Congress.
where it's a bigger issue is everybody in our township seems to be appreciating most recently the abundance of sightings of the eagles and that the population is growing. And so think about the bigger picture where the river herring have impact on our raptors and as a food source. So it's just one little element of it. But anyway, thank you guys. I look forward to working with them and with you and also with Jason. And hopefully we can make that a place where people want to go and enjoy the nature that's back there and not feel intimidated to be back there or in danger of getting run over, because it happens.
I'd just like to add that the River Council consists of municipalities all the way up to Berlin. And all the municipalities are experiencing similar situations. And Fred has taken a lot of time and a lot of work to touch base with other municipalities that are already producing ordinances. And it's our neighbors. So Egg Harbor City, Egg Harbor Township, Pleasantville, Atlantic City, Galloway. So we're not the first ones. We're not the leaders. What Fred is saying is we need to take this seriously so we can all work together and make it a lot more safe than where we're heading. It's getting pretty bad. Thank you.
Bill?
Thank you.
I'll meet with you sometime this week and report back to committee. If you're available, I'll give you my number here.
Are you speaking with me or with Fred?
I'm right here. It's right here.
It's
Bill,
Fred.
Oh,
right here.
you're down here. I thought it was Carl. I'm sorry.
There's my cell phone number. Give me a call this week. I'll meet you out there and I'll report back to committee about Gravelly Run, and then I'll take you to a couple other locations that I'll enlighten you on some other stuff that's going on. Okay.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment?
Anyone else? I make a motion to close public comment?
Second.
Motion and second. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Carl?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor. We're going to adjourn to executive session. Will we be coming out?
We may come out.
We may come out. How's that? Motion to adjourn?
No, I need a motion to enter closed session, please.
And-
Jim, we're
I'm
still
sorry,
in. I'm sorry.
So moved.
Tk you.
Second.
Have a motion to second. All those in favor?
Motion and a second to enter into
Aye.
executive session. All yes?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't have a gavel, so.
I do.
Who's gonna fix?
Public session.
Yes. Couple folks coming in.
Oh, no.
Carl opens it back up, right?
Yeah.
Carl, you still with us?
Yeah.
You want to open it back up?
We need a
We hear a motion to open back up.
Motion and a second, yes.
I'll make that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Against?
I'm sorry.
Ayes have it.
We need a motion for adjournment.
We just need a motion to adjourn.
We're not taking any action, so looking for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those against? Ayes have it. Meeting adjourned.